What's up, everybody? Micah Walker here, and today I wanted to do a video talking about how to get over a serious sports injury. Before I get into the video, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. With that being said, let's get into the video. So if you play sports of any kind, it's inevitable that you're going to get an injury. Whatever injury you have, it could be a minor injury, or depending on your sport, it could be a very serious and basically career-ending injury. So just kind of going into my brief background, I was powerlifting for about 5 years. I did, okay. I wasn't like top of the world, but I was usually, if I entered a state competition, I would usually win. But anyway, so I was powerlifting for 5 years. I had some strains here and there, but I never had anything that really kept me out longer than a couple weeks. In March of 2018, I was in a powerlifting competition, a deadlift only meet, and I actually ended up fracturing my pelvis in two places at that competition. So obviously, it's an extremely serious injury, and I just wanted to talk about what I did to get over the injury, so that if this is your first time experiencing a serious injury, you kind of know what to expect, and hopefully this video helps you in some way. So when I first got injured, like I said, I've never had a serious injury before, so I was in denial about how serious my injury was. I thought it was just something that I could kind of, take like a couple weeks off, and that it wasn't going to be a big deal, and part of my denial was, in my own head, just stubbornness, but also it was being reliant on my first doctor, who he gave me kind of this time frame of how long he thought that fractures would take to heal, and it turns out that his timeline, was not realistic. So, I basically was in denial about how serious it was. I thought that it was gonna heal way faster than it did, and unfortunately, it never healed without surgical intervention. So, um, definitely, that's something to expect. You're gonna go through a period of denial, and kind of along the same lines with this idea of the doctor and his time frame. I would definitely recommend getting at least a second opinion, probably even a third opinion, just because you know just so that you don't go through what I went through. I would definitely recommend getting more than one opinion on something. So, all right, so the next thing that I had to do is I had to kind of come up with a different workout routine. I love working out, but because of my injury, there were a lot of things that I wasn't able to do. For a period of about 3 or 4 months, I was not able to do any lower body stuff whatsoever. And it's not like I could have even attempted to. I literally was not able to walk for about 3 or 4 months. So that means no squats, no deadlifts. That stuff is off the table. In addition, because of where my pain was, I couldn't even bench press with my feet on the floor at first, because there was so much pressure on that pelvis area, bending a certain way. So I basically had to switch up everything. There's some people who, if they get an injury, they probably would have just basically not did any, not done any sort of training or any whatever. But training has always been extremely important to me. So I just had to kind of come up with my own routine that would allow me to continue to work out. So, for example, I could not bench press with my feet on the floor, so I was able to bench press with my feet up on the bench. I was also able to do floor presses, and then I was also able to do things like bicep curls and also pull-ups. So I just kind of started doing stuff like that, which was definitely different than my normal training, but it still allowed me to go into the gym. And obviously, when you're benching with your feet up, you're not as strong as when you can really push in. But I was still able to, lift a fair amount of weight doing those types of things. So definitely, you're gonna have to make some adjustments and switch some things up if you want to continue training. All right, so the next thing that you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to accept your situation. You sustained a serious injury. It is what it is. It sucks. Believe me, it sucks a lot. But this happened. It's not the end of the world. You have to kind of be positive, even though it's gonna be hard at first. The injury is gonna heal. So, like for me, for the first 3 or 4 months, I couldn't even walk. I had to use crutches everywhere. And then after that, for another 2 months or so, I had to use a cane just to get around. Um, the pain got less and less as each week went by. And so things actually did get better. But you also have to adjust your expectations. Like I said, my first doctor, he told me that everything would heal 100% within about 3 or 4 months. Well, unfortunately for me, it didn't work out like that. One of my fractures did heal pretty quickly, but the other fracture never healed, and I actually ended up needing to get surgery just to heal that other injury. So definitely adjust your expectations, but also try to remain positive. The next thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to kind of leave your ego at the door. Before my injury, I was deadlifting 650 pounds plus, and I was squatting over 500 pounds. Obviously, not being able to lift do any serious lower body lifting for 2 years in my case. Obviously, I'm not going to be just going into the gym and picking up 650 pounds. It's just not going to happen. It's not smart. If you leave your ego at the door, it's not a big deal. I mean, for me, I work out at home, so I don't really have that issue. It's just kind of me, and I'm not really too worried about, what other people think because I work out by myself, but I still have to keep my ego at the door and just kind of try to progress slowly, but making steady progress. So definitely check your ego at the door. All right, so the last thing that you're going to go through is you're going to go through fear. Before my injury, when I did a big lift, whether it was squat, bench press, deadlift, I never had any fear at all before. So, the only fear that I did have was not that I was going to get injured. I never ever thought, oh, I'm going to get injured here or anything. Any fear that I had was fear of failure, fear of missing the lift, fear of embarrassing myself in front of anybody who was watching. But I never had any fear of getting injured. Since my injury, I now have fear. I now have this idea that I'm not invincible and that I can get injured. And that's a difficult adjustment for me. I am not 100% healed. I had surgery this past November, and I'm getting back into a lot of the things that I was doing prior to my injury, but I'm not 100% in the sense that I do still have a little bit of pain. Even though my fracture is 100% healed now, I do still experience a little bit of pain. And so for me, I have a little bit of fear that I'm going to re-injure myself when I have been doing lifts. But what I found is you just kind of have to basically just almost forget about the fear and just realize that you're healed. Like, I had surgery. I went to the doctor recently and I was cleared 100%. My pelvis fracture is 100% healed. Prior to that, I was just kind of getting back into like squatting and stuff, but I was super hesitant because I thought that I still maybe had a little bit of a fracture. Now that I know that it's 100% healed, it's all in my head. I'm progressing each week, not where I was at before, but I am making progress every single week. And it's because I'm kind of just realizing, okay, yeah, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable here, but I'm not, I don't have a chance of, I'm healed, so I'm not going to just, further do more damage to myself. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts on how to get over a serious sports injury. If you had a sports injury, you know, and it was a very serious one like mine, I'd love to hear about your story. If you put it in the comments, we can discuss. If this video was helpful for you at all, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in content like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.